So today we're going to look at how to use the gradient fill tool in Affinity Designer for iPad. In a few simple lessons, especially designed for beginners. It's something you'll use in your toolbox quite a lot. So firstly, open Affinity Designer on your iPad. Now, initially, create your shape or design in a new document and select it. Click on the Color Picker tool and fill it with colour. And as you click, it will automatically fill with whichever colour you select. And obviously, I'd encourage you to use a blank document to start with and experiment with that. Now, to make a gradient fill, select the Gradient Fill tool in the left toolbar. You'll see that funny little shape over there on the left hand side. Select that. Depending on your setup and how you've got it, you may or may not initially get that horizontal bar across your object. I've got that there because I pre-selected the type for linear, and you can see that in the bottom context toolbar. But don't let that confuse you. If it defaults to none, which it most often does, then that line won't yet appear. Clicking on the Fill tool will display the context toolbar. Selecting the linear type, for example, as I've got there, will display a line across the object. This will create your gradient. It's an initial gradient, shall we say. You can see there's a lighter point on the left and a darker point on the right, and a small line, vertical line, in the center of that horizontal bar. To change the color of the gradient that you've created, click on one of the gradient points, where I've got number 1 for example. Then click on the color you want in the color picker, and I've clicked on blue. It immediately changes from the green gradient it had before, pale green through to dark green. It changes from green through to blue. We're still on linear gradient. To move the gradient area, there are little lines on the gradient, those vertical lines that you can see there. You can slide them to adjust where the gradient starts and ends. And in some cases you'll have more than one of those little lines, and you can apply some yourself, but we'll go into that later maybe. For now, if you just move that single vertical line, you can see how you've pushed the gradient across to the right. On that gradient fill line, you can add more gradient colours by clicking on the line and adding more points. Well, tapping on the line actually. You just tap your Apple Pencil, if that's what you're using, on that little line. It will add a point. You can then change the colour to suit your needs. Once you've selected that point, tap in the colour wheel and find a new colour. It will apply that gradient colour up to that vertical line. And you can see you've got another little vertical line to the left of that point. To adjust the angle of the gradient, you can tap on a point and drag the gradient line, well, to wherever you want it, to move it up to the angle you would like. And in that case, I've revolved it right around so it's 20 degrees off the vertical. Now you can also adjust the noise in the image by tapping on the noise option in the Color Studio. You can then use the slider to adjust the noise. It's a bit difficult to see on this image, but it's changed from that dark blue to a speckly dark blue, and you can just see a bit of the pale red behind it. And the green also has that noise colour, noise effect if you like, in it. Because I set the noise level quite high so we can see it, 96%. I doubt if normally you would use that unless you're looking for a specific effect. You can also create a gradient in the stroke itself. Now the stroke, in case you're not aware of it, is the outside line, the line that silhouettes your object if you like. To get your stroke colour up, tap on the stroke option in the context toolbar. And it's you can see above and below you've got two little circles. It's the lower of the two is the stroke option. Ignore all the other tools there for the moment, or if you like, experiment with them. See what they do. Once you've got that stroke colour up, tap on the stroke option in the context toolbar and adjust the width to as you desire. You can see I've got the width there at about 14.6 pixels. To get your stroke colour changed now, tap on the Colour Studio and adjust the colour as desired. You can see the stroke is selected because it's the red donut shape at the top. And down the bottom in the context toolbar, that lower stroke option is still selected. Adjust the colour as you like. You can actually set the colour first before you go and change the width of the stroke. That's okay, you'll get used to whichever one suits you best. I generally prefer to set the stroke and then change the colour. Now in the context toolbar, select the stroke, which is over the left. Number 1, down the bottom on the context toolbar. Then select the gradient tool again, which is on the left hand side there, number 2. And select and drag your gradient over your design. You can see the pale line there. And that's creating a gradient in your stroke. Now the blue line that goes through the stroke, you can see a faint blue line there, that's just the outline so you know where the stroke is. On your image, final result, that won't be there. So that pale line, you can see the stroke line is darkest at the top and almost invisible down the bottom. These techniques can be applied to the stroke as you did the fill. So they're interchangeable. Anything you can do in the fill, you can do in the stroke. Another choice you have in the context toolbar, of course, is the type of gradient you can create. In the pop-up box, you have several, including the linear and elliptical gradient. Experiment with these and see what they do, and of course there is one option there which is none. That's it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find my actual YouTube channel in that address there, and I'm a YouTube creator. Subscribe, tap the bell to be reminded, and even tap on the like if you like, and give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.